Well, my first experience with whiskey was probably like many other young kids that I got very, very drunk on whiskey and promised myself that I would never ever drink it again. So not a really good experience for the first time, but as I grew up I got an interest for the Scottish history, and when you start reading about the Scottish history, at one time you will read about whiskey distilleries as well, and that fascinated me quite a lot about how they produced it, the whole story about how proud and passionate they were about their product. So that's how I kind of started with whiskey, and suddenly I actually fell in love with it. When I got the interest, I probably read every book there was about whiskey, and the more I read, the more I wanted to work with it. So people say Scottish people are very careful about the money, so when I asked the distillery if I could come and work for free, they said yes. And that's how I actually started in the industry. And then, well, I have the amulet from Highland Park on my chest, and I made that because not only is Highland Park something I love and very close to my heart, it also tells a story about the Highland Park. It's from Orkney and the Viking heritage. So having the tattoo close to my heart reminds me where I belong and what's very close to me. If I can mention the 10, 12, 15, 18, everything from Highland Park is my favorite, but it depends on the time, depends on the situation, depends on my mood, but normally I would say the 25-year-old. But today, here at Hyatt, we're going to taste the 21, and the 21 has always been my favorite since we made it in 2009, but we don't produce it anymore, so it will be the 25 I have to say that's my favorite. Well, it sounds like I'm drinking all the time. I'm definitely not, but when I have to relax, I either go to the gym or play music. I love listening to music. I used to play the guitar as well, and still play, but not in a band anymore. So I like to relax with. I know it sounds funny, relax with the gym, but that gets my mind away. So I go a lot for weightlifting, lots of for boxing still, and so on. So that's where I spend my time, and then of course spend a lot of time with my son. Well, Hong Kong is a growing market for Highland Park and for Scotch whisky in general, and there's a few new things to launch here in Hong Kong this time. Here we have our new packaging, we have our Fire coming out, the sequel from Ice that we launched last year, and we have a new bottle called Valkyrie, which is again talking about something that happened in the Viking Age. I always had an interest for Highland Park, I always had a love for Highland Park, and Highland Park has probably for the last 20 years been my favorite whiskey.